What's going on? Welcome to the podcast. Got a question for you. Tired of not having good swag? Tired of your wardrobe looking bland? Need some heat when you hit the streets? I got that solution. That aggressive M. McLean Circle. The circle, if you will. You can always go to lsmclean.com. There's a link right there to my store. Laced. Or you can always go to @McLean_circle on IG. Laced. Do yourself a favor. Go to the circle. Get this heat. And I'm going to do you a favor. Use code Let's Eat at checkout. And I'm going to say you some cheese. Because that's how I do. The circle. Join it. See you there. Now let's get started with this podcast.
Ayo, it's podcast time. Let's do it.
Okay, we're on. Boom. It took
It
legit 15 minutes to even get this thing started. You guys, we're back. Corner Circle Podcast. I'm your host, LS McLean, aka Bro Rogan, the Black Joe Rogan. I have with me. I went across the pond for this one, yo. When I went to Ireland for this one. I'm super excited. I went to Ireland and then I looked for the smallest person I could find. Ladies and gentlemen, leprechauns do exist. And I have one. She's all of 47. She's all of 47 kilograms. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to think. I don't even know how to convert that to pounds. That's not even 100 pounds, dog. That's not even.
I think, is it 102?
That's not 100 pounds where I'm from. I mean, it is, but it's not. I'm like, she's barely 100 pounds, man. You know, and those of you that know me know I specialize in little people. With all my cheerleaders, she is legit the size of my little ones, which is crazy. So she's a grown woman that's not very grown, and that's awesome because she lifts a lot. I am pretty sure she's you're a champion, an under 21 champion. You've been on the IPF national team. You know, we were in the same place at one time and never even said anything. That really made me feel uncomfortable finding that out afterwards, but it's okay. We're going to touch on that maybe. I don't know if you guys, if you are on Instagram and you do follow IPF affiliated powerlifters, man, she's one of the hottest in the game and one of the hottest in the game. It's fun to watch. She's great. Again, I mentioned she is from across the pond. And you know what? She just happens to live in probably my favorite country in the world to visit. Ladies love her. Guys are in love with her. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kim Murray. Yay! That was great. Thank you. That was an absolute great intro.
I'm not going to make it corny, but it's corny.
Listen, it is what it is, you know. This is, you know what, man? I don't even know what time is it there. It's like you guys are what,
it's 20 to 8.
Yeah, so you guys are you are legit 7.5, 8 hours in front. That's what's up. I'll take it. Oh yeah,
I thought it was only 5.
No, like it's 1. It's not even 2 here yet. Dang, man. So you guys are, you're up there. You're a little bit in front, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Eastern time zone. I'm that Central. Eyes of God are right on top of me. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about for the people out there in the world that do not know who you are, that live under a rock, that don't know how dope you are. Give us a 2-minute rundown of who Kim Murray is. Go.
Well, as most people know, like 47 kilo powerlifter.
Mm-hmm.
Got a great opportunity to go to Worlds in Sweden, where I didn't even say hello to you, but we'll just skim over that.
Mm-hmm.
Was under 21 champion in junior nationals. 2018 was my first nationals.
Okay.
Fun, exciting times. I pretty much kept going since, and my regular day job is a bartender from before COVID. And I just finished college. I don't really know how else to explain.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, you explained it well enough. So here's my question. What got you into lifting? What got you into the powerlifting game? Was it something that you just always wanted to do? Or, I mean, what made our paths intersect, I should say?
Essentially, I kind of just fell on my feet into powerlifting from, I used to do rugby until I was like 17. So played rugby union 15s and did Connacht 7s as well. Got 3 concussions. Couldn't play anymore. And then I really fell in love with like the strength training, the S&C that came from that. So I joined a gym back when I was 16, 17. Did that. Like wanted to be a bikini fitness, compete. I wanted to be that girl, because I still do, but not right now. And then I did Olympic weightlifting for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it. Like, kind of put me out of my comfort zone completely. Then I picked up a few injuries and decided, I'm just going to do my own thing now and do like squat, bench, deadlift for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I became friends with a guy called AMZING. My fave Canadian. But he was in Ireland at the time. And he took me under his wing in like the gym I'm in now and kind of showed me like the basics of everything. Did that for 2 years. Met my first coach, Steve, from Limerick. Became friends with him as well. And then he took me in as a client for my first 2 years. And that's where I kind of
skyrocketed from there.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So like now you just, you're one of the best in the world, man, and that's crazy.
Okay, I am bottom of the food chain.
Listen, you're at the bottom of the food chain, but I mean, on an international level, it's different than being at the bottom of the food chain on a local level or a national level. You know what I'm saying? You're still in the top 1% of the 1%. So if that's being the bottom of the food chain, I'll take it. So you're obviously, and I don't know, because like, I mean, we'll talk about lifting a little bit. We'll talk about competing a little bit, the type of competitor that you are and all that stuff. But I mean, I right now, I mean, obviously in the States, we just kind of do whatever we feel like when it comes to the whole COVID thing. And we just kind of whatever, especially in Texas, bro, we don't care here. But like, are there, what kind of restrictions do you guys have? Or are you guys still under restrictions with COVID, or like, how is that working?
We're in like a strict lockdown still. Like nothing is open at all. We had like, I think 5-6 weeks from Christmas to New Year's, or just before Christmas, where they allowed things to open. And then as soon as New Year's Eve hit, everything was shut.
Oh, so like, oh my gosh. I don't even, man. I mean, I didn't do anything for New Year's anyway, but
gyms and everything have been shut for ages.
Oh my gosh. I don't even, oh man. So, God, you're just stuck, dude.
It's so annoying.
Well, like, so can you like, I mean, can you leave? Like, I mean, I'm assuming like, are you able to like leave home to like get like essential things, like to go get food and stuff like that? Or is everything?
It's a max travel of 5 kilometers.
What?
You
can't travel more than 5 kilometers?
From my house now.
Well, it's like 3 miles and change. I can't imagine not being able to leave. Well, okay, I'm sitting there lying, like I don't leave the house anyway. The only time I leave the house 2 times, maybe 3 times a week on average. No, maybe 4. One to wash my truck at the car wash, sometimes to go to the gym, but I have my own gym at home, and I have 2 times a week that I have to go to a different town to work with my cheerleaders. That's it. I love being at home anyway. You know what I mean? So especially if you can have food delivered, and like I told Jordan, the fact that they made the mistake of adding HBO Max to streaming service and Disney Plus, I ain't ever leaving the crib. I honestly, and I bought a new couch. I'm not leaving. Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's added a new puppy to the arsenal. I'm golden. I mean, I got everything I need. I got food. I got my pups. I got my new couch. I got my streaming services. Man, and they deliver Chinese. I have the life. And like, I mean, I work from home. I got this baller ass office. I'm straight. I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing podcasts right now. Like, chill out, LS. Relax. So you obviously you're one of my favorites, man. I have a lot. I should say I have a few favorites, man. But you've been one of my favorites for a while. You're one of the few people that send me like just encouraging DMs. And I always appreciate that. Believe it or not.
You gotta hype your friends up, man.
Well, here's the thing that I don't think people understand, man. Like, you would think, with the exception of, I have maybe 2 or 3 people that consistently send me like, just some positive rays, and just like nice to me. When I first started, I had a ton, and maybe it's me, maybe I'm just a dick, I don't know. But when I first started, I had a ton of people that, they showed a lot of love and everything. And I always appreciated that. I mean, I just, but then I got to a point where I'm like, well, I need to be reciprocating this love that's being shown and really be encouraging to other people. And so, for every one that people would send me, I would send them 2 or 3, in return, or try to find other people, you know what I mean? And then like I got to a point where I kind of took, I wasn't necessarily on social media as much. And so, I just stopped and no, I think I was not the Arnold. I was at the Olympia, and a dude told me, he goes, yeah, man, I used to write you all the time, and I just figured now, you're just so busy that you probably don't even get them. I'm like, nah, bro, I get them all. I read them all. I respond to them all. And so right around that time, I just was like, well, I guess it is what it is. I guess I'm not likable, and that's cool, whatever. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that was like right around the time I think like you just started like just being like just nice, okay, the lift here and there, like whatever, talking trash, sending a meme here and there. I'm like, cool, I appreciate that. And so I have about 4 of us, like about 4 friends that I have that like like at any given moment I'm gonna get some funny meme, or at any given moment somebody's gonna talk trash, or at any given moment I'm like, hey, you know what, good job, or hey, you suck, or hey, you getting fat, whatever it is. But I mean, having those type of people like yourself that that regardless of what side of the world, Guard's one of those. Guard's one of those. He's, oh my God, I love that dude so much. And I got really, really lucky in that I have about 5 Irish friends that you guys are just awesome. Awesome people. I mean, of all my UK and European friends, man, it seems like the Irish are always just so dope to me. And so, I mean, me and Tyree, Mr. at Pull My Beard, we were talking about how much we just like he's like, my favorite place on earth is Ireland. I'm like, dude, mine too. We talk about it quite a bit, you know what I mean? And just, the people, you guys are just absolutely amazing. I just, probably my first international symposium / conference I ever did was in Ireland. And
it was EPC.
Yeah, it was EPC. That was my first international joint, and I loved it. Like I didn't know, I really just didn't know how prevalent and how strong the powerlifting community there is. Kind of tell me about that as far as like the powerlifting community there in Ireland, like like where I guess not necessarily, I don't need all the history or whatever, but kind of where is it, like where's the headquarters located? Like how do you guys train together? Like do you guys like stay in contact a lot? Like how does that all work?
So I, compared to like a lot of people in the RSPF, like I'm still relatively new. Like my first competition was in like 2018, and I was already around for like 3 or 4 years before that. But we don't really have kind of like a headquarters per se. I don't think, because our competitions are kind of scattered. We tried to have one in each province.
Right.
So I'd say most competitions are in abs with Jay. Up north.
Which is
like biggest venue.
Huge. Sweet.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty centralized.
But like I think as a kind of like a community per se, we're very small.
Right.
Everyone knows each other. You know, it's not like USAPL where there's thousands upon thousands of athletes at one nationals.
I mean, you know, this
like
nationals is going to be small apparently.
Really?
It's going to be everyone. It's going to be all categories, all ages, raw and equipped, all in the same spot. Everyone, we're all going to be in Florida. I don't know how that's, and it's only the top. Is the top 5 from nationals last year. Automatic invite. And we had this thing called the hometown showdown. So the top 3 from each one of those categories get invited. So that's 8 people right there, and then everything else, whoever else. And I forget what they're capping it at. I think it's like cap it like, I don't know, 60. I don't know. It's going to be
7 here.
It's going to be small in comparison to the ones we're having like with almost 2,000 people, which I'm so excited. I in all my glory of being able to eat during COVID and getting fat, I was able to qualify for the 93. I qualified for 105, and I qualified for 120.
Relax.
I ate so much, dude. My downfall is Burger King. You know what I mean? Like,
of all places, though, Burger King.
I love hamburgers. It's my favorite food.
Okay, there's an amazing hamburger place here, so you have to come visit.
I ate at one spot. Oh my gosh, I forget the name of the place. Is in Dublin. It was the dopest hamburger spot. I just kept going back and going back and going back, and then they had a protest downtown or whatever, and we had to leave. I was like, I'm gonna come here every day that I'm here, and the one day that I like, the other days like I got like every different burger, and the one that I wanted was like double meat, double cheese one. I'm like, I'm saving that for my last day here. That was the day that people decided to protest. I'm like, come on, man. So I was on one side of the street, just looking at it on the other side, man. Like the first couple times that I've gone, especially when I went to Enniskillen, man, I think that was when I really kind of fell in love with Ireland, and just the people. And like I was like every other girl that I met, I was like, oh yeah, that's my wife. No, that's my wife. No, that's my wife. Like that's, you know, and honestly, man, my buddies, of the ones in our number that have gone to Ireland, the same thing. Everyone's like, oh dude, no, I found my wife there. No, I found my wife there. No, I found my wife there. That's something I definitely want to ask you. Is that a common thing that seems to happen, especially with guys in the States? When you're talking with them, you know, when they get to know you, do they like automatically just kind of just like fall in love with you, just start just diving off in your DMs, just being absolutely insane, or is that just kind of just kind of comes with the territory?
Like anyone that I've spoken in my DMs who's American, I can tell straight away.
Oh yeah.
Because like the way they speak, how direct they are, I'm just like, we don't get that here. It's very kind of like everyone kind of plays games, and it's kind of frustrating. I don't know, is it just the Irish culture? But people
that is so, and it's weird because so I guess romantically, Irish guys tend to, I mean, from what I'm gathering, Irish guys, they tend to play a few games, a little cat and mouse, a little bit more, say, than American.
They don't really want to show their emotions. It's that kind of.
That's so, you know, and it's weird because
America's opposite. I noticed that straight away.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, in public, I will say this: in public, American guys are more like, nah, I'm a chill. I don't want people to see me like this. But then in private, we're like, blah 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 blah. So I guess like I guess it's opposite, because in Ireland, every every one of the guys, that's I think why I like Irish guys so much. Every one of the men that I was able to like come in contact with, everyone was so direct and straight up, and you know what I mean, like firm shape, real super manly, whatever, you know what I mean. And you know, I was like, oh, this is what's up. In the States, dudes aren't. A lot of guys you run into, they're just really like not necessarily shady, but I'm like, you're fake, you know what I mean. But then behind closed doors, like, oh my God, I love you so much, whatever. And I would just assume that. I just assumed that Irish men, you know, were like, I mean, because honestly, Ireland is one of the most beautiful, romantic places on the earth. So just automatically assume, but from what I'm telling you, when you step out and you like just look,
it's romanticized so much, and it's really not as glorified as people.
That's because you live there. But on this side, when you go, you're like, oh my God, this place is beautiful. I need to share this with someone.
What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for listening or watching this podcast, depending on what form of media you're using. Number one thing I want to let you guys know about, I need you guys to go check out Bare Performance Nutrition, one of the greatest, best tasting supplements out there. And rule number one, they're very, very, very clean. So if you're an athlete, get tested, guess what? BPN is what you need to use. Now, you can either go to bareperformancenutrition.com to check them out, and or you can go to IG and go to @BPNSubs, or if you just don't want to do any of that and you want to just find an easier way to go to that, well, I got it. You can always go to lsmcclain.com, and there's a link on the page that you can get to Bare Performance Nutrition. Now, at checkout, I need you to use this code. Use the code Let's Eat, and you'll save at the end of checkout. Thank you guys very much. Let's get back to the show.
Like, I would just assume that it would, well, I guess the guys don't like that, but you know what I mean? Because like, even like, I don't know, man, like, although I think as far as American guy go, because like, you don't necessarily make, especially in a lot of like the bigger cities, there's not a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's not a lot of physical contact as much. Like when people talk, I mean, I talk my hands. When I talk to people, I'm putting my hands on them and everything. In Ireland, that was one thing that I noticed. Like when a lot of the ladies would talk, they would like, you know, touch your arm, or they would talk to you. Like, I'm like, whoa, they don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm like that as well. I always have to like touch people.
Like they're touchy. So as American dude, you're like, hell yeah, she likes me. I'm like, no, man, she's your waitress. She's just she's being nice. But you know what I mean? You don't know, like. That is, I'm telling you, man, I don't know. To all my guys out there that are going to watch this, that are going to listen to this, I'm telling you right now, you are going to fall in love with an Irish girl if you ever go to Ireland. And it's not because you know, it's not because like you're looking for a woman. It's just because you just, as a man, you naturally just can't help it. Now, I don't know how the Irish dudes are. I mean, but if you're from the States and you go, like, you're definitely going to fall in love. Like, and quite opposite. You know what I mean? If you're an Irish girl and you come to the States, you're definitely gonna fall in love, dude. Because we talk a super good game here. You know what I mean? We just do it in private. We don't do it in public. You know what I mean? That's just whatever. That's we're stupid like that, dude. I don't know why.
Game.
Huh?
Speaking the game, that has to match the reality.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. There's, you know, okay. So that's a very, very good point. So from all of these wonderful men that find their way into your glorious DM, you know what I mean? I don't need to know everything that they say, but what is some of the craziest stuff that some of these guys have said to you?
I'm going to go through my requests right now and see.
Oh my.
I don't think there's anything because I usually clear them out.
Yeah.
But most are just like, you can probably see like in the screen, it's just mostly like reacting.
Oh. Yeah, I couldn't even.
I never get like really funny ones, and I'm kind of sad.
Listen, I will send you some of the ones that I get. I get some amazing ones.
My favorite one, of people message me and they're like, "So you're a power lifter, huh?" And like question mark. I'm like, it's in my bio.
Oh, of course.
You can see. Of
course. Everyone thinks that they're just so funny and they're so clever. Like, you know, this is gonna be the one that's gonna make her like me. I did a podcast with Ray Williams one time, man, and we talked about just some of the DMs that we get. I'm like, yeah, I suppose, you know, you get some crazy ones, man. You know, the women send some crazy ones. Goes, oh man, some of the stuff that the women send is crazy. He's like, but I'm telling you, it's the ones that dudes send. I'm like, yes, bro. Oh my gosh,
I just never.
guys
I never
do
received
not care. And I mean, there's a certain demographic. You know what I mean? And you know, this is the part that really makes me mad. And shout out to Jay, love you, bud. Like I mean, you know, he's been my best friend for God, man, I don't know, going on 10, 15 years now. And you know, and he's gay, man. And I asked him, I'm like, hey man, straight up, I was like, don't be funny about it. I'm not trying to be, you know, rude, but would I be considered attractive? He's like, oh yeah, you'd be all right. I'm like, I would just be all right. Like, okay, cool, because I got one of my buddies who's not. I don't. First of all, I don't think I'm like all of that. But I'm like, I feel like I'm just as attractive as you are. His DMs are popping. Came in and sent him stuff, and I'm like, and I ain't gonna front. I low key get kind of like upset. I'm like, so I get like one every now and then. If I post anything about cheerleading, then I get stuff. But if I never post anything about cheer, like I'm like, man, these dudes don't even find me attractive. Like, what's the deal? Like, you're not that cute, but you're getting all this. I'm very competitive with my friends, and I'm like,
so
I don't want him
that you want random people in your DMs every day.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, you know, when I do get the ones from guys, it's like, hey, how much would you charge to send me your socks? How much would you charge me to send me your underwear? Like I'll pay you for you to send me your shorts. You know, don't wash them. All this like weird stuff. I'm like, and if I honestly, I mean, I make my own stuff. Part of me really wants to be like, I should just charge them that. But I'm like, money. Man, I would, but I'm like, yeah, man. If that's the case, I may as well just start OnlyFans, cuz. You know what I mean? OnlyFans is me just eating food and doing bootleg reviews, I guess, because that's I mean, no one's coming to see my fat body, that's for sure. So I'm just saying, it's the truth. Okay, I do have a question for you because I was thinking about this, man. Just concerning the lockdown and everything. So, do y'all don't have any type of meets on, you know, in the future right now? Nothing in sight, or are there anything tentatively scheduled?
I have one on the 21st of March.
So they're gonna open it up so you guys can do a meet, or
we've no idea. It's not like an Irish PF competition. It's OB series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
dude, they put on some dope ass meets, man.
I know.
Oh my gosh, they put on some sick meats. So, do you like? I mean, there's a few people out there right now that I'm like actually doing meets that because I actually thought about just doing an online meet, like which is, hey man, we're gonna get online and everyone, you know, I'll just host 100 people and you know each person is gonna step on the scale with their phone and show their weight, and you know what I mean. Like I thought about doing that. Like I mean. Do you guys do any type of, you know, virtual? I mean, you know, it's just, oh man, that sucks. I mean, it's really, at this point, there's really nothing you can do. Like everything is just canceled. I have a couple of, you know, a couple of European clients that I really was excited about. I'm like, dude, I think my people can podium this year at Europeans, and they don't even get a chance to do anything. And it's really, there's a lot of places that are just completely still shut down. I don't know. I was told Brett Gibbs, like, hey bro, I'm coming down to visit. He goes, man, they're not gonna let you guys in. You're from the States. I'm like, damn it, never mind then. And I really thought about just
contemplated it.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man, I'm coming
for New Zealand.
Yeah, man, I'm like, hey, can I just come down and kick it? He's like, nah, dude, they're not gonna let you come in. You're American. I'm like, damn it. So what if I find out? Well, I thought about if I flew to Australia, in Australia for a week, and then I just boated down. Nah, they're not gonna let me come because they still gotta say American. Damn it. Yeah, I'm stuck here. It is what it is.
But you can fly into Ireland without getting checked. But I can't leave 5K from my house.
Wait, you can go. You can still go. Wait, you can. I can come to Ireland from the States.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, and the UK.
Oh, Betty. I might, man. No, man.
But like, I can't go 5K from my house and visit my family.
That sucks.
Where's the logic? There's no logic.
Well, the logic is you're gonna get those tourist dollars coming in, It's going to keep the
But
economy
they don't even have to
stimulated.
quarantine or do a test.
What?
No.
Okay, well, okay. Here's another question. I have so many questions.
LS
man.
is on the first flight out of there.
No, so do you? Have they? I mean, I'm assuming they've started because I think they started in the UK first. Did they start distributing the vaccine and all that stuff already?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people starting to get it.
Yeah,
You already got yours?
No.
Oh,
I'm like way bottom of the totem pole.
Oh man, I'm supposed to get mine this week, and I am terrified. I don't know.
Get jabbed up.
Well, I think like I made a mistake last night. And this is my biggest problem, and I don't recommend anyone do this. I have to laugh before I go to bed. Absolutely, I have to laugh. So I always lay down, and I'll put Family Guy's always in the background, and or South Park, definitely South Park, and then Family Guy, and maybe some Rick and Morty. But I always lay in bed, and I would scroll through my phone, and I'll go to Reddit, and I'll look up. Hear the words, guys, because you need to follow this, and it's not what you think. It's called fight porn. It is the dopest fights. And my buddy sent it to me. I was like, man, I don't want to look at porn. He goes, no. It's just fight porn. I'm like, I don't want to see people fighting in porn. He goes, no. It's just called fight porn. Like, okay. It's all the dopest fights ever. And it's all like karma payback fights and bullies getting beat up from bullying people and stuff. I watch that, and I watch World Star. There's something about watching people fight that can't really fight that makes me laugh so hard. And so
I love those videos so much.
I was watching, I started watching a bunch of fights, and then the next thing I scrolled down to was all these people affected by the vaccine. And this lady was all kind of jacked up, and she was like an RN nurse. I'm like, oh no, that messed me up last night. So I'm like, man, do I really want to get this vaccine? And so like both my parents, they both qualified to get it. And so my dad's like, oh, I'm definitely doing it. Like no question. He's like, there ain't nothing to mess with. And of course, he's lost two of his really close friends to COVID. I just recently lost one of my really close friends to COVID. So it kind of hit home like, hey,
Sorry,
you know what, man? I mean, it's with life comes death, man. And it definitely sucks. But I mean, it's like, if nothing else, it serves as a, at least for me, it serves as a reminder like, hey man, life is short, number one. And number two, your health is nothing to joke around with. And guys, should say men my age that are, over 35, that, we grew up a little bit different than guys that are like, in their 20s, they're like, not even 30 yet. I mean, we grew up like playing outside, with no shoes on. I grew up in the middle of the country. Like I just, we literally ate grass off the ground to pretend like we were cows. Like we did all kinds of just weird stuff. We were always dirty. We're always nasty. And so I don't know that we have this acute immunity, but we grew up like I don't get sick a lot. My buddy doesn't get sick a lot. Like my best friend to this day, we've literally been friends since we were 4 years old. We don't get sick, but when we do get sick, it's a wrap for us. Like I hardly ever get sick. My immune system's dope. So, I grew up with a lot of guys like that, huh?
That must be nice. I get sick all the time.
Oh, because you're only like 2 pounds. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't help.
That's what happens when you're like, like negative.
I blow away in the brain.
Negative 50 kilo. It must, you know what I mean? I literally have shoes that are heavier than you. I have in my garage right now 2 dumbbells that are heavier than your body. Like that's hilarious. But yeah, like so a lot of us just refuse to get this vaccine, and a lot of people are dropping off as a result. So, and a lot of people haven't really been taking COVID very seriously, and a lot of those people are now suffering from it. So, you can call it fake if you want. You can say that it's not real if you want, but for those of us that have been affected by it, it's very, very real. So, I mean, I get that part, man. It's a scary time. I mean, and again, I don't necessarily know the statistics in Ireland. I mean, has it been affected pretty heavily from this COVID outbreak?
Okay, so like when it first came around in like March last year,
right?
We were locked down for like 3 months,
right?
kind of just went away then. Like it was really low, case numbers were super low, everything reopened, all back to normal. And then we had a second lockdown up until like November.
Right.
I think it was only like a month, and just to manage cases.
Right.
Kind of dropped again, but it was still quite high, and now it's like skyrocketed.
Oh,
like it's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, I think it's just
there's like I think 60,000 cases.
Oh
here.
Man,
I could be wrong.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, and it's when you consider the size and the population, that's a lot. That's a lot.
We're at the top. We were number one for cases per million.
Oh my gosh, that's weird because they're like, that's so crazy. So like,
cases
I mean, yes,
today were 2,488 and 61 died.
Sheesh. So like, that's such a scary thing. So I mean, yeah, I get why you guys are locked down. I get why you're trying to be precautious. So like, I mean, so like, what are you doing for training? Like, are you training at home? Are you like?
I'm in my lovely shed.
Oh, so you have an opportunity to train.
Yeah.
So okay, do you have an? This is another. I didn't think about this until like all these questions are coming as we talk. So what happens when it's time for a PB? Like, do you like does mom have to somebody have to spot you or?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult because obviously I don't have people who are in it from a gym background with me.
Right.
Dangerous.
Oh yeah.
There's that. I have a video of me failing a 100 squat and like just folding over. It went over my head.
That is so much weight for your body. That's my God.
I crumpled like a chair. I just poof.
You know what though? I mean,
I'm gonna send the video to you after. It's really funny. I put the Oh No song over it.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Didn't you post it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you know what made me so mad? I had such a good training session. All my training sessions throughout the COVID outbreak, they were just stellar. I was moving weight. I never thought I would ever move and just kill it. I was getting fat as hell, don't get me wrong, but I was just moving weight, eating food, moving weight, eating food, moving more weight. And I finally decided I was going to do a meet because the great Dennis Cornelius was going to do it. And I'm like, dude, I want to do it. If Dennis is going to do it, let's do it. And so it was right before Thanksgiving. I did my final one and I think it was like I think I squatted like 340, 345, something like that. I'm like, all right, you know what? This is perfect. This is right where I need to be. So I'm going to go on because of COVID. My uncle had COVID on my dad's side, and then one of my aunts had COVID on my mom's side. So we definitely weren't going to family for Thanksgiving. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to Utah. So we took this road trip to Utah, to the Salt Flats, everything. Had a great time, took a nice little break, and came back home. I was like, you know what? I had a nice little deload. I'm relaxed. I'm refreshed. Let's go. And let's go I honestly, in my head, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for at least, I don't even know how much that is a kilo, but like, I was like, you know, I'm probably going to get as close to 800 as I can. I'm going to squat 800 pounds. I think I can do it. And I get to my warm up. 600 felt like gravity on my back. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be bad. I was like, you know what? Let's go 280. So I went 280 and 280 felt okay. So I was like, all right, let's go. I ended up going, I went I think I went 305. No, that's a lie. I did not. I was shade under. No, I did. I did 305. It was 305. I did 305. And I unracked it, broke at the hips, got in the hole. And as soon as I got to the hole, I was like, nah, this isn't coming up. And the guy that was popping, I was like, let it go. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. And I just dumped it. And he's like, I haven't seen you miss. I had missed a squat in over a year. But that one shut me down. And I was like, kind of pissed. So when I went to the meet, initially my goal was like, I'm going to do at least 335, 340. But I remembered how shitty I felt when I missed 305. So I was like, I'm going to do 305 just to show myself that I'm the boss of that weight. It sucks because, you know, you get all these COVID gains and then then you have to go back down. Well, you've been really good because you actually, you've been like monitoring your diet, and all that stuff. For the rest of us fatties, we've just been eating and just moving lots of weight. So when it comes time to go back down, dude, our strength just goes nowhere. Like, have you been able to really maintain your strength as like you're, cutting and dieting and everything? Are you like able to get stronger, or has that been affecting your strength?
So when I was about to do junior nationals in October that just passed.
Right.
So about 6 weeks out, I was at my heaviest. I was like 49, averaging like most days,
right,
which is heavy for me. Okay.
It's a leg for me. It's a leg, an absolute leg.
And I was like, okay, I was pushing like 2,500-ish calories a day, and I couldn't do it anymore. My body was like tapped out, and I was like, okay, I'm working with Gar Ben. And I was like, okay, Gar, we're calling it. We're gonna do a 6-week slow cut into nats. So I only had like what, just over 2 kilos to lose, down to under 47, and I wanted to be at least 47.5 kind of that week before comp. So I was like, okay, we're on a really good path. Was averaging maybe like 47.6 the 2 weeks out of comp.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, everything's good. Training was still going well. Like PB on squats when I was only like 48 kilos.
Right.
Like first PB in like over a year. So that was huge.
Right.
Bench was unreal. Deadlifts were going great. It was like, we nailed
right.
This peak diet was spot on. Then COVID came in, locked us down, cancelled my comp. So I was like, okay, I'll do it at home. I'll do a mock meet up. I was still doing my diet because I wanted my 300 total at 47.
Right.
I was on a good path. First day of lockdown, I broke my toe. So I had a 6-week lockdown of bench only.
Hey, your bench was growing though, at least. So okay.
Bench has been wild. It's like skyrocketing.
But here's the thing, especially as a lifter, that's the hardest thing to get to grow of all lifts. You know what I mean? Like in terms of your toe. Yeah, for a lot of people, bench is the thorn in their side.
Mine's deadlifts.
Oh yeah, well, with deadlifts is one of those things that if at the very least, if you can manage to get your technique down and have at least a decent grip, if you have a solid squat behind you, you can really get some carryover from that squat to the deadlift. The thing that I found with a lot of my clients, especially with my young women, is bench is that one thing that's a thorn in their side. It's hard to grow that bench, but if we can grow that bench, and mind you, it's not a lot in terms of its percentage of your total, but if you manage to really grow that bench, it almost seems like that rising tide raises all ships in terms of the rest of your lifts. Because I just feel like bench is one of those things that if you're confident in your bench, you're almost super confident in your other lifts. Because especially, at least for me, going in to deadlifts, if I know that I have a really good subtotal that I just padded with that bench, I feel a lot less pressure going into deadlifts. And so for me, my technique suffers when I think a lot about it. I'm convinced that I can damn near pull anything that you put on the bar if I don't know what it is, number one. And number two, if I just focus on technique and technique alone, that weight's coming up. But if I happen to miss a bench, if I happen to feel like my bench is off, my deadlift is guaranteed to follow suit. I've noticed a lot with, at least with a lot of my clients, a lot of people that I've been programming for, is if we can manage to build that confidence. I mean, we try to obviously build confidence in squat, because if your squat's trash, it's going to affect everything. But if we can grow that squat confidence and then you really, really nail that bench confidence, and it seems like deadlifts is not that far off. Like obviously your bench is growing because you were stuck being able to only bench. But when you were finally able to get that weight back on your back and be able to, to actually grip a bar again, like, was it hard to reacquire that strength that you lost, or was it, pretty easy to reacquire the strength that you, kind of?
Well, I was in a boot for 6 weeks.
Right.
So, I tried to squat and I squatted like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really go well. Like I was squatting on like the outside of one foot.
Yeah.
So one leg was like taking all of the load. So I had to like readjust everything once I got back to it. But like breaking my toe genuinely sent me on such a downward spiral that I didn't even want to train. I was like, no,
man.
I'm literally just doing bench and I'm not even trying. I'm just gonna let that heal and I'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Later came around, I realized I was weak as shit. And I was like, oh, I played myself.
Like I should have done something. But I mean,
So,
you know, there's
I'm
really
still
not
trying to get strength back.
Yeah,
Deadlifts have taken a long time.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot that you really can do once you're booted up anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, and at least for some, I mean, I know for me, I definitely took advantage of COVID in terms of using it as a time to really heal as much as I could. And I think that's why my list was going so well. But the parts that always suck is that you hit those breaks that you give yourself, and then you get those breaks that are forced on you. Like, you know, the boot that was forced on you because you broke your toe. But that may well have added, God knows, that may have added 2-3 seasons of lifting, to your to your lifting life. For those of us that have been going all the way through for years and years and years, I mean, we're just banging into a wall over and over and over. And then when we do get an opportunity to take that break, I feel naked when I'm not lifting. I feel like, oh man, I'm not doing what I need to do. This is so uncomfortable. I'm getting fat. I'm lazy, but I do know that my body needs it.
Yes, sir. Podcast going pretty good so far, right? Right. Now, this particular portion is going to be brought to you by Virus International. Dude, some of the dopest performance wear in the game. I got all the stuff from shorts to leggings to shirts to sweats. They got it all. Hats, socks. Hey, they even got singlets. So, if you want to raise your game up a little bit, it might be time to go to Virus. Now, you can go to Virus a few different ways, okay? Number one, you can always go to virusinternational.com. Right there, VIRUSINTL.com. Boom, and you'll be right there. Or you can always go to Virus on IG, just type that in, and guess what? You're going to find them. Or you can go to ellismcclain.com. Did I say that right? No, I didn't. ellismcclain.com. And you'll be able to go to the bottom of the page, and there'll be a link there that links you to Virus. Now, and again, if you want to save some money, just use the code Let's Eat 10% off at the end of checkout. Boom, you're good to go. Help your boy out. Virus. You know what it is. Let's get back to the show.
Have you gotten to a point where you've mastered that art of being able to know when it's time to shut it down, or do you still sometimes have a problem with like I need to lift, I've got to train?
So I was with Stephen with City Gym.
Right.
Before I moved to Jay.
Right.
So I went from a 5-day program to a 4-day program. So I now have 3 rest days, which at the beginning I struggled with a lot because I was used to only having 2.
Oh man.
But I learned that obviously I was still in college at the time.
Right.
Before I finished up last year. So those 3 extra days really helped with like getting my degree finished, doing my exams. And I didn't realize how much that extra time is needed.
Oh yeah, the time management.
So now I really appreciate having 3 days off.
Yeah.
I get to read my books, play games.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I cannot let you go without talking about that. So for people do not know, one of the cool things about Kim is you are one of the biggest book nerds. That and the thing is, people don't know. I mean, if you go to her IG, you look at her IG, you just like, oh well, this is a super strong, pretty girl, but they have no clue that you are one of the biggest book nerds that really exists on this planet. Now, in order to find that out, you actually have to go to her story, and you're gonna see pizza, you're going to see some movie, or you're going to see a plethora of different books. Who's your favorite author? Of all of them, you have a ton of them, I'm sure. Okay, top three. Huh?
Obviously.
I'm gonna say Stephen King.
Yeah. Tolkien. King.
Oh, Tolkien. Yeah.
And let me see. I think this dude, Dennis Lehane. He wrote Shutter Island.
Oh.
He is so good. This is
really?
amazing. So much better than the movie.
I'm never going to read. That's too much.
I think and Karen Slaughter. Like they're like the top 4 that I usually read.
That's awesome. And like how long does it normally take you like to finish a book?
Depends on the size of it, really. Because like it could be a really short one.
True.
And it'll be really good, and I'll go through it in like 2 days, 2-3 days. But like it could also be really short and awful, and it'll take me like a month.
Oh, dude, I don't. If it's a, I got to
like,
a point
this took
where
me forever. This took me 2 months.
Oh, there's no.
Like,
nope.
look at it.
Nope.
Like 1,400 pages.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be listening to this is the thing I started doing because I like to make time for books, but I've noticed that the more stuff that I take on, the less time I have to like sit down and read. I even have like a reading nook here in my house, and I've never read in it. So what I've done, I started taking up listening to audiobooks, but yeah. I'm able to multitask like a king as a result of, and I don't necessarily miss out on it. The only thing is with an audiobook, the one thing I like about reading just hardbacks and reading just books is one, I always like the feeling of conquering that page and going to the next page. Yeah. Number one, and being able to look back like, damn, I'm killing it. And number two, I love biographies, autobiographies. I love reading in the voice that I think that they have. Like when my nonfiction books, I love reading them, thinking that this is what the character's voice sounds like. Now, a lot of the people that know how I am, I think you're starting to get to know how I am. I'm super weird in terms of how I think. So the voices that are in my head, they completely do not sound like they end up sounding when it's the audiobook. Mm-hmm. The hardest thing to do for those that like to listen to books or to read books is to switch from reading books to listening to audiobooks and having the worst author, or rather the worst narrator ever. That's the worst. I don't know if it's worse. Experience. Say what? It absolutely. And you don't even want to. And then what ends up happening is, especially if it's the author that's a narrator and their voice is freaking horrible or too nasally, I don't even want to read the book anymore. So I'm like, you know what? There's a book that I like called it's called Gang Leader for a Day. Mm-hmm. And it's, oh my God, it was so awesome. And I got like halfway through it and I was like, I'm running out of time. I need to listen to the audiobook because I have a bunch of other stuff I need to do. So I ended up buying the audiobook and trying to listen to it. And the author's voice was like this. And he was like this the whole time. And I was so angry. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn this thing off and I'm gonna read it. I'm just gonna go back and read it. I'm halfway done. And so when I started reading, I could only read in this voice right here. That's all I heard when I read. So I was like, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So I gave up on it. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you get a chance, Gang Leader for a Day is awesome. It's an autobiography, but it's like this guy goes to Chicago and becomes a part of the Chicago gang. And they like, it's awesome. I'm intrigued. It's so dope. So for you, my long list. Are there any books that you've like? Because I've never done this, but I know a lot of my friends that are avid readers. Do you go back and read some of the old books, or do you just keep shrugging through?
Yes and no. Like with regards, like thrillers, mysteries, you can kind of only read them once because you obviously know what happens.
Right. Yeah.
There's one, Crime and Punishment.
Yes.
Book. Yeah, I want to reread that one. That was really good. And I really like Dostoevsky's style of writing. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. But
Dostoevsky.
Apologies to any Russians who might listen to this. I've butchered that name.
Well, it's not Russian. Russians don't like me like that. I want to read this before I do my master. So like, so that's that is that like just one of your it's absolute favorites? Like you love that book.
It's not like I want to reread my favorites. It's more so that like books that actually taught me something, I like to reread to kind of keep those in my head.
That's kind of how I am with. I mean, it's not really even. I don't know. People hate on it. Some of it, but Sun Tzu's The Art of War. I read that over and over and over. I think I read that book probably twice a year, every year. I usually read it before nationals, and I usually read it before worlds. Just The Art of War. It's such a simple thing, simple concepts, but it just applies to so much stuff.
I haven't got to read it.
I should buy it. Or you can always just listen to the audiobook because there's free audiobooks all over the internet of The Art of War.
I like to tab and write and everything.
Oh yeah, not me, boy. No. It's just okay. Here's my thing. When I read a book, I'm so stupid. I like for it to look like it's never been touched. Like, ooh, yeah. Like it's such a joy.
I used to be like that.
Yeah, like I had two people actually get me this book. They got me Shoe Dog, like the history of Nike or whatever, because they know I love shoes and they know like Phil Knight's like one of my business inspirations. And so I started to read the book, but it's such a beautifully bound book and it's like a beautiful cover. I'm like, I'm not messing. You don't want to touch it. Girl, it's still sitting on top of the mantle, but I got the audiobook and started listening to it. And the guy that did the book, or the narrator, sounds just like Phil Knight. So I was elated and I mean, oh my God, it's such a great book. Oh, it's such a great book. I've listened to it 3 times already, and it gets better and better every single time. That's probably the only book that in the Bible. I don't even know if the Bible counts as a book anymore. I'm a preacher's kid, man. So like I've read it so many times, cover to cover. I've read that thing so many freaking times. You know what I mean? And because I know if I don't, my dad's like, oh, Ephesians 6:15 was the same. I'm like, Daddy, I don't know. Let me give you a second. You know what I mean? Like
all that's going through your head is like meme responses. You're like, nope.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Last night my dad was hitting me with Bible verse like, Daddy, you're going way too fast. I know it, but I don't know what that, you know what I mean? Like, preacher kid, man, what you gotta do? You know, if your dad's a preacher, you know what it is. It's like, all right, you win. I get it, you win.
Oh my God. The song Son of a Preacher's Man, it just started playing into my brain.
Leave me alone. That's just my life, all right? But yeah, so I mean, so you're big on books, man, and like and obviously you graduated and everything. So like now that you've graduated, man, like what's next on the horizons? Like what do you want to do?
I'm hoping to do a master's in environment development and society, I think. Yeah. It's like geopolitics.
That's what's up. Look, you little nerd.
I know.
Man, look at her,
big brain things, Ellis.
Oh my God.
We're making moves.
Listen, you got to, man. Like, I mean, we're at a point now where, I mean, if you're young and you're not thinking about, obviously, what your next step is, you're doing yourself a terrible disservice, number one. And if you're not thinking of how you can make this world better, then you're not going to have much of a world left.
I have a nice 5-year plan.
Yeah, man, you got to have a plan. And that's huge. The one thing that I can definitely say throughout all this COVID stuff and throughout all this, people being isolated, is you have so much time to get to know yourself. You have so much more time to get to know those people around you. You have a lot of time to get to know people that you never had a chance to really get to know. Like, I mean, I'll be 100. Had it not been for COVID, I don't know that I would even, want to know what your story's about. You know what I mean? Because I just wouldn't have been interested. I would have been, focused on my own stuff like I always am. But through COVID and just, lifting, obviously, I guess the biggest thing for me that COVID really taught me was this, so much of us are so much more than lifters.
Yeah.
And we have so much more in terms of rhyme and reason. And people are really great, like deep down. And there's some people out there that are super encouraging. I mean, because like I'm one of those, at least for a while there, I was really one of those that like I had to be around people so much that if I weren't around them, you know, it just would drive me nuts. And so when you're forced not to be around people, like, well, how am I going to get this stimulus? You know, how am I going to get this, you know, the thing that I crave, the human interaction? And then you find like, well, this is the one time that social media, I actually like it, because you start getting to know people you never like. I never thought I'd be friends with somebody from Ireland, aside from Gar and and Danny. I mean, those are my dudes. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Danny's come to Austin. We, you know, we've had a chance to go around and kick it like in my hometown. So like, I never thought I would be like friends with more people than them. And then, you know, I just, you know, it seems like I talk to Screamer, you know, every other week about something insane. And it's just like, I have all these friends across the world that, I mean, that were really brought to my lap through powerlifting. And I mean, while powerlifting was the door that opened, it, you know, it's been the conversation that's kept it there. And, you know, I mean, and you're definitely no exception to that. Like, you know, kind of getting to know you and getting to know, like, you know, your story, wanting to know more about your story, really wanting to know, like, you know, what makes you tick, and really, you know, because the crazy thing about being an international level lifter, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, the number one person, doesn't matter if you're the number 5 person, it doesn't matter if you never podium, it doesn't matter if, you know, you go to worlds or not. Like, we're all still just trying to get better. We're all trying to be better versions of ourselves. You know what I mean? And, you know, I feel like the story of, you know, of everyone wants to always listen to like, oh, well, what do you do to win? Okay, that's awesome. But all right, but what about that person that, you know, I mean, obviously your concern is winning, but you also have other concerns. You also have other things that go on in your life. And that's the stuff I want to know about. And, you know, I've been very fortunate in the people that listen and follow and watch this podcast. They're that way. They want to know people's story. Everyone has a story. So I'm super appreciative that you would take the time to even share your story with me and my peeps.
No, I was gonna cry when you asked me on it. I was like,
listen,
really?
I have a list of people whose story I really, really want to know about, and it makes no sense to keep waiting. And I mean, I have 2 different podcasts, actually I have 3 now, podcast setups, and I'm like, you know what, dude, let's do it. Let's just have some fun with it. And so I was elated when you said yes. Honestly, like I hardly ever double book my podcast. I try to do like 1, maybe 2 a day, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do these back to back. You know, 2 people that I really want to know, you and Jordan. So I was super excited, and I'm very appreciative of you taking the time out to chat.
I'm very grateful. Thank you.
So I won't take up too much more of your time, but I will ask you this. We talked about the Rushmore, and it's not like you guys have a Rushmore in there in Ireland, but you know what the Rushmore is. So on your Mount Rushmore, on your mountain of honor, who are 4 people that you would place? And they don't have to be lifters, they can be anyone from any walk of life. Who are 4 people that you would place on your Mount Rushmore?
This is so tough because like people always ask me like who my inspirations are, and I always feel like I kind of draw a blank because I don't really tend to look up to people. So I kind of just do my own thing. I know what needs to get done.
Right.
But I'd say Janine Martin, or European champion from Ireland. Beautiful 47.
She's a beast. Love her.
I'd say my mom.
Oh yeah, you gotta put mom in there.
Yeah, like, well, parents, if they can have like one head.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd have to say, like, I know everyone said it, Kimberly Walford, like, come on.
Listen,
there's a reason.
You're not alive unless you consider Kim as one of the greatest that ever did it. She's inspired everyone, self included. I get it. I'm not, you don't hear me. Yeah.
It's incredible. Sorry, you're like skipping. There we go.
Yeah, you're man, that's awesome. So we got Janine, obviously the parents, and we have Kim.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think because like I have different people for different reasons, like outside lifting. I'd say for passion, like drive wise, and for their business, I'd say Tim as well.
Oh yeah.
Like he puts all of his eggs into a basket to make his dreams happen.
Without a doubt. Man, I cannot argue with any of those. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you want. You know.
And have an extra head for LS.
Nah, man, I'm not there yet. Yeah. I'm working on it. Give me a couple.
Just add your face in.
Like I right now, man, it's just one of those things where I'm just happy to be able to even have this platform to to share your story with people, man, because I feel like a thing I noticed is like you kind of keep your head down and you work, you know what I mean, and you don't necessarily look for a lot of recognition. You just go and you do your thing. That's always admirable for people that like myself, that I come from such a hardworking background, and hardworking parents, hardworking sister, hardworking relatives. So for a majority of the world, it's easy to identify with somebody that likes to work, and that doesn't really do a lot of talking, I mean, and you're very result based, you know what I mean? Like, when you're, when you're doing well, you post about it. When you're not doing so hot, you still post about it. You know what I mean? When the diet's going well, you post about it. When the diet's not going well, you post about it. When you get a new book, you post about it. Yeah, you know what I mean? And or if you got pizza delivered, guess what? You're gonna post about it. Like you're very transparent, you know what I mean? And really, you're one of the few is what you see is what you get. And I can always appreciate that with of a person. And again, I appreciate you, more than you'll ever know, man. Like I said, there's been a couple points where I had some like trash training, or I just wasn't in a good mood, and you'll send like a funny meme, or you'll just make like a cool comment, and I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that, and it's always, it's something about the Irish, man. You always know what to say, and you always say it at the perfect time. Gar's really good at that. He'll just out of nowhere, he'll just message me something. I'm like, dude, yes, I needed that. He's probably one of my biggest business inspirations that are out there. Like if diving into something 100% was a person, his face would be on it. That dude he gives his all every single time. And you know what I mean? Shout out my man Gar. I love you, bro.
I'm gonna tell him you love him now straight away after this podcast.
Say what?
I'm just gonna send him a message.
Yeah, man. That guy means a lot to me, man. And I know he knows he means a lot to me, but I try to make it a point, to let him know, man. I don't like, dude. I don't know that I cry all the time, man, but I don't know that I've ever cried hard over how much a person means to me that I didn't know for years, the way I cried over him when every time he'll post about the gym, he'll post about the changes they're making, he'll post about the gains they're making, he'll post about the new equipment they get, and I just start bawling because I remember when I got there when it first opened.
Yeah.
And I just remember where it was and where it is now and the work that he's doing. And he'll order stuff from me. I'm like, dude, the shipping costs more than the clothes. But he'll order it anyway. And I'm like, man, I love this dude so much. Like when I first started my business, he's one of the first to show support. So like, you've got to love a person like that, man. And it's like, you're an echo of that. Danny's an echo of that. Everyone that I've ever met, in Ireland has been just amazing. And I cannot thank you enough for being such a great representative of that and really being a spirit lifter and really just, I'm not the biggest fan of social media, as despite what many may think. I'm just a fan of the people that I follow, and I'm definitely a fan of yours, man. And I said it a million times. Hurry up, open up those borders. Come to Texas, man. We'll show you off. We'll let you train, and you'll have a good time. We'll let you eat all the food that you want.
Please, I want good chicken wings.
Oh, girl, listen.
That's all I need.
I'm telling you right now, well, you know what? You'll be one of the first to ever hear it. Me and one of my friends who owns a gaming store, so you probably get all the Nintendo Switch games that you want because he owns a gaming store. He and I
This is how you win me over.
Yeah, he and I are in the process of building our own backpack, our own streaming backpack, so that I'm not stuck streaming Twitch here at home, but whether I can put it on my back, put it in my backpack, I'll have my camera here, I have another camera facing me, and I can go anywhere in the world and stream.
Ooh.
They make streaming backpacks for like $4 or $5 grand, and I don't want to do that. We want to make our own, and so we're gonna make our own streaming backpack. And one of the places that I'm gonna go is where I live. I live in the German half of Texas. Some of the greatest German food ever. So I'm gonna go to all these different German restaurants and eat. Obviously, I'm gonna stream it. But there's one in particular that makes the best chicken wings ever. And they're like so like they're you get those chicken wings that are like dude, they're borderline about to be a real wing. They're right in between, like they're not small, they're not big, they're so fat.
Are they like the 3-piece ones?
Yeah, they're huge.
And it's like the whole thing.
Well, that and like I mean, you get the small chicken wings, you get the flats and all that stuff. Well, these they're just a shade bigger than normal, and they're just so fat and meaty. And I fell in love with the place, and I have not been back since like pre-COVID. And they just opened back up. It's just, dude, I cannot wait. So like we're in the process of building this streaming backpack, and once we get that thing rolling, I'm about to be everywhere. It's just, oh my God, I can't wait. So everybody keep an eye out for that. But I'll shut up, and we'll get to our final part of the podcast.
I know what's coming. I'm just gonna leave.
No, you gotta do it. So you have the option. I'm gonna make it easy on you, okay?
Okay.
You have 1 or 2 options, right? Obviously, you have the song. And for those that don't know, the way it goes is if I had a gun in your head and I'm like, hey, listen, you have to sing, chant, or rap 15 seconds of your song, of any song. Can you do it? And obviously, everybody usually has a song. Even it could be Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It could be whatever. It could be a chant. It could be the Lord's Prayer for all I care. But everyone has 15 seconds of something they have memorized. So you should be able to recite that thing word for word. So usually like, yeah, I got it. Then, of course, I ask what song, whatever, and they usually tell me whatever it is, right? Well, Kim swears that she can't and that she won't, but here's your option. You can either do it on the podcast right now, or you can get off the podcast, you can record it, and you can send it to me. But either way, it has to be done. That's the only way this podcast is going to be shown to the public. I'm holding it ransom.
I like play it really quietly so I can hear it, so I can actually get the song right.
No, you can do whatever you want to. This is your time. Listen, and you know what? I'll be even nice about it. I'll even show you where the 15 seconds kicks in. That's what I'm working with. Boom. We are at, look, the timer set. Look at that. LSC, so nice.
I have it like right here, low enough so I can hear it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I was going to do Cardi B, and then I was like, okay, that's not something anyone needs to hear on a podcast.
So you have, I will put it right there so you can see it. You have 15 seconds. You let me know when you're ready, and I will start.
I can't sing.
You don't have to sing. You can literally talk it for all I care.
You have to say what it is, or I'll just say it after.
Just go. You say it, and tell me to start, and I'll start.
Okay, it's That's Life by Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, you can go. Wait, sorry, go back.
Oh, you cheating.
No, it didn't press play. It didn't press play.
Okay. All right, okay.
Okay. We ready?
Yep.
Okay. Been a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing. There's your 15 seconds, Matt.
15 seconds. Lucky duck. See? It's not as bad as you thought it was.
No, I'm going to go crawl into a hole of embarrassment.
No, because everyone does it. I mean, wait. When you see Amanda Lawrence did 2. And then she's like, you know what? I don't like them. I don't like the way they look. I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to send it to you. Can you make it into a video? And to be fair, because she did that, I was like, you know what? I'll make you one and I'll send you one just because she was like, I don't know if I like that. So I made her one. I'm not doing that again, but I did. So guys, we just had this is a dope podcast. I appreciate you. Like it really, this is dope. This is super dope.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. Thank you for accepting, man. It's oh crap. You know what? I forgot. Oh my gosh. I'm the worst. I'll do it later. Whatever. I'm good. I'm so happy that you were on here. I need to go eat. I have not eaten yet today. It is what it is. Whatever. But I thank you for your time. Where can people find you on social media?
So my app for Instagram is KYM PL. It's KYM because everyone seems to spell it wrong.
You know, my bad. I'll put it up too. So people.
I think my Twitter is the same.
Oh yeah, you tweet. You tweet. Yeah, you're a tweeter.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I only really use those two, mainly.
Yeah, that's pretty much how a lot of us are. Well, listen, I appreciate you. You know, if you ever need anything, you know where I'm at. Kim, my love, thank you so much. Very, 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 very much. Have a great night. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you like what you saw, like what you heard, if you're on YouTube, make sure you go like, you comment, subscribe. Make sure you tell as many people as you can. I'm trying to blow this bad boy up. If you're on any of the other forms of media, obviously just make sure you subscribe. Tell as many people as you can. I'm trying to think of what else. If you are in need of coaching, clothes, nutrition, swag, you can always go to my website, lsmclaim.com, and we will take care of all your needs, right? We got it all. Hey, that's what it's about. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening and subscribing and commenting and just making this thing blow up as much as it has been. Let's keep it rolling. Appreciate you guys very much.